Hello, I am so excited to be able to say something on the Commission on the Status of Women. And anybody who knows anything about the UN, this is CSW because everything has initials. So CSW has been going on for lots of years. The International Day of Peace, I call IDP, but the UN calls it Internal Displaced Persons. So we have to be careful with how we use initials. By talking about the Commission on the Status of Women, brought me back to we have a scarf that had the world on it as our sacred altar. And I was telling my small group that I first learned about the Commission on the Status of Women when I was very involved with the American Association of University Women. And the woman came back from Nairobi, probably from under a tree meeting, but she was the health commissioner for Suffolk County. And she talked about FGM, another initiative. And maybe many of you do not know FGM is female genital mutilation. And in 1985, they said, we need to end this in the world. And it's increasing. At the UN right now, how many of you are involved with the Commission on the Status of Women and will be going to any of the events? Let's raise your hands. So some of you are involved. Those of you who would like to be involved and are not, and you don't have a UN badge, you can still get into the UN lobby by getting a day pass across the street. It's difficult, it's not, it's a hassle, but you can get there. And there's a wonderful exhibit in the lobby. Okay. But CSW is not just limited to what happens but with the governments. That is the formal part. The informal part is what's bringing most of us here. It is the side events that are going on daily from 8:30 in the morning until 6 at night. And many of us have specific events that we're doing. It is happening at the UN Church Center on 1st and 44th. So if anybody lives in the city and wants to come to something, you can walk into certain buildings and find workshops going on for the next 2 weeks on topics, some that you might be interested in, some you might just be cold and want to go in there, and you'll learn something. The Commission on the Status of Women brings women together, and it brings them from all over the world. The governments are looking at what was decided on in Beijing as a platform of action in 1995, where the progress is, what needs to be done, setting goals, doing reviews, and discussing some really important issues. The empowerment of women, ending violence against women, standing with women, and to spiritually connect with women have been some of the themes that I've been really involved with over the years. And so if you don't step foot in the UN, if you never hear about a workshop, your spirit today is a part of the Commission on the Status of Women because we will bring it with us from our particular circle. And we'll hear about your water story. But know that the governments need the women. And we need to show up. And we need to tell people that there are human rights. That violence against women is not only wrong, it's illegal. And we better let people be able to talk about it so that we can help the healing. And we have to bring these issues not just to a table with governments, but to the kitchen tables, and into the schools, and into our hearts. So I don't want to take too much time telling you all of the other, governmental things. You can find this on the website. But know that it is the spirit that actually got me connected, it's gotten most of us connected, and it's what we'll carry from this into the UN for the next 2 weeks. And for those who are going to be going, I know we'll all learn something new, even though we've come to share. And I also would like to invite everyone to a specific service of remembrance and gratitude at 4 p.m. at the UN Chapel. And everyone who comes will have the right to put someone's name on into a book that we've been building for a couple of years to remember the person who got you here. So just take a minute and know that you're connected to the Commission on the Status of Women, because when I invite you to say, Who got you interested? Who empowered you? Think about that person. It might be someone right in this room. But it might be someone who's passed. It might be someone you haven't thought of in a long time. But that's the spirit of the Commission on the Status of Women. And I invite you all to not only look back at what inspired you, but be inspired to do something from today to empower someone younger, someone who needs your help, and someone that you can say, you make a difference in my life. Annalyn.
I missed, or I didn't understand what you meant about 4 o'clock in the...
It's 4 o'clock on Friday, March 15th. I left that important part out. Yeah, at the UN Chapel, which is on 1st and 44th Street. And there will be a service of worship, and actually one of the, it's not a service of worship, but it is a service of remembrance and gratitude. And I would invite people, and I want to end with a prayer. The nuclear prayer. The beginning and the end are in your hands, O Creator of the universe. And in our hands, you have placed the fate of this planet. We who are tested by having both creative and destructive power in our free will, turn to you in sober fear and intoxicating hope. We ask for your guidance and to share in your imagination in our deliberations about the use of nuclear force. Help us to lift the fog of atomic darkness that hovers so pervasively over our Earth, your Earth, so that soon all eyes may see life magnified by your pure light. Bless all of us who wait today for your presence and who dedicate ourselves to achieve your intended peace and rightful equilibrium on Earth, in the name of all that is holy and all that is hoped. Amen.
Amen.
And I ask you to join me in a prayer that I use all the time for anything. May peace prevail on earth.
Amen.
3 times. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail on earth. And may the peace you carry show the empowerment of women, particularly in these next 2 weeks, wherever you are. And I hope I see some of you at the event.
Yay, thank you.